Welcome to Tin Talks, real conversations with champions for champions. I'm your host, Emily Love.
And I'm Carlette Patterson, your head sports life coach. And the desired outcome of our real conversations for champions with champions is to share our passion for sports life coaching. We want to get you coached, and our purpose for training you for a life that you love is we want to connect you to what matters to you in your life and the power of being a champion in your own life. A champion life is a 10 life.
Hi, team. Welcome to Workouts with Coach. This week, we are adding to the conversation following the launch of our first podcast episode. We started with an introduction of who you'll be listening to each week and what to expect on this journey with us. This week, we want to introduce some of the common language you'll be hearing each week so that you can connect to our message and feel like you are part of the team. Workouts with Coach starts now.
Welcome to the Life Gym. Let's talk about the power of a common language. So if you think about a time when you felt really connected to someone, it's usually because you felt like they were speaking your language. And that's what we want to do. The minute you walk in and you join a sports team, what's really amazing about it is that you feel like you belong. And that is the power of team and the power of a language, is that I belong. I can understand you. I know that you can understand me. So that's where our sports life coaching language is really valuable. And also, it helps us know that we're really on the same team.
Yes, I love that, Carlette. I think that is so huge. I giggle thinking about the power of language. For me, when I opened the notebook that you first sent me when I signed up for my sports life coaching certification, that book looked like French to me. I was so overwhelmed with how that notebook was set up and the words and all the different language that you use. But the minute I sat down and I started working with you class by class, it all made huge sense. It opened my mind up to what you were talking about and the power of these tools and techniques, the impact and the profound difference it makes to really break down our language before we try to understand and put these in place is huge. So, Carlette, some of my favorites, clearly we're going to talk about, the most impactful, but let's just go down the list in terms of how the workouts is set up. And one of the most powerful tools and techniques that you implement into a workout is Call Your Life Play. Let's talk about that and how you developed that and what that means when we can look at someone that we love and say, hey, call your life play, and the profound impact of that simple tool.
Let's talk about Call Your Life Play. What does that even mean? So what's really great about this is when I started to think about what would be a simple way to communicate how I'm feeling, which how I'm feeling could be a bit complicated. But if there was a way to immediately be able to let you know how I'm feeling without me having to go into a big dialogue or, explain everything, because sometimes I don't want to explain how I'm feeling. I just want you to have my back, or I just want you to know that, hey, today's a really rough day for me. And let's just leave it at that. So the best model that I had for something like this was from basketball. Again, getting back to really using that sport analogy. So in basketball, if you think about a point guard, she's dribbling down and she has the ball in one hand that she's dribbling, and she's going to call a play for her team with the other hand. The great part about this, she's going to let all of her teammates know a signal on her hand that connects them immediately, and they know exactly what to do to basically be able to implement the play. We want the same thing to happen. We want to be able for me to hold up my hand and you immediately know how to implement what we need to do, how to connect with me. So Call Your Life Play is using one hand. Again, keep thinking about that basketball player dribbling with one hand, so they've only got one hand to use. It's using the scale of 1 to 5. 1 is going to be, it's a rough day for me. I'm really struggling today. And 5 is going to be, I'm great. I'm ready. I'm fabulous. I'm ready to go. So the great part about this is you can walk into your team if you're on a sports team and say, hey, everybody call your life play. In a moment's notice, everybody can hold up their hand and say exactly how they are. And you need to look around the room. That's what's really important. Number one, I'm going to connect to myself. So now I'm going to be present. I'm going to transition from wherever I was to I'm entering into the workout right this moment. How do I feel? Well, you know what? I'm a 3 because I'm hungry right now. Okay, that's good. All I need to know is I need to see your fingers are a 3. Each one of us on the team are going to make eye contact so that we can acknowledge our teammate and we can acknowledge exactly how they're feeling. That's it. That's the power of Call Your Life Play. Now, if somebody is a 1, it's really important that you say, hey, is there anything you want to share? Because I've opened up my heart and it's said to you, I'm a 1. The worst thing that can happen is for you to ignore me. First of all, it took a lot of courage for me to even admit that I was a 1. Now I just need your support. And usually that's a 5-second, you know what, it was a rough day today. I woke up late, or, I didn't pass a test, or something happened. All I've got to do is just let you know that. And now my heart is free to, first of all, know that you care about me. And second of all, I can kind of let go of that and show up and be present for what's next. So you can use this on your sports teams. You can use this in your classroom. You can use it in your family. As soon as you pick your kids up from school, you can just say, hey, babe, Call Your Life Play. Mom, I'm a 1. Oh my gosh, today was terrible. Okay, that's good. Now we've connected to the heart and I know exactly what we want to be talking about.
Carlette, I love that. I love that it can go two ways, that you can, really acknowledge the person and give them a few minutes, even just a few seconds to share what happened. But I also love that they don't even have to share. You said, hey, give them an opportunity to respond, because it definitely does take courage to admit where we're at. But that also, you don't have to even say anything. You can just say, hey, I'm a 2. Would you like to share anything? Not really. But then I know immediately what I need to do to connect with you. I mean, think about it from a spouse level, parenting. If my husband walks in the door and I just say, babe, I'm a 2 today, he can immediately, okay, that means he's going to need a little bit more energy. He's going to need to connect with the kids a little bit more. He's going to maybe need to support me a little bit more. And it doesn't take any dialogue for him to clue in. I love that in an environment at work where you really are working as a team. And if a coworker walks in, instead of really getting on them for, hey, why isn't she present today? Why is she snappy at our meetings? Why isn't she getting her work done as fast as she normally does? I think it takes away the assumptions that we might have, the negative assumptions of others, and it really allows us to live in this grace period where, hey, we're not excusing poor behavior, but we're also recognizing, you know what? She's a 2 today. I'm going to give her some room. I'm going to let her, kind of be who she needs to be. I'm going to encourage her. I'm going to love her. And then it takes away the negativity that might build up. I mean, what do you think about that, Carlette? As you've seen people implement this, what are some of those success stories of, wow, this really helps me connect and love people on a different level?
Well, most importantly, it just honors that we're humans. I just call this being human, and how beautiful to all of a sudden step into being a human and be able to have everyone embrace us, love us, give us grace. Just I'm going to really be a better person. I'm going to be a better teammate. I'm going to be a better everything if I feel like you authentically care about me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the reason we don't go there is we don't know how. We're not sure, is that going to feel like I'm prying? Is that person, what is that person going to think? And the beauty of this is it takes all the guesswork out of it. It, number one, says, hey, I care about you. Call Your Life Play. I want to know right this moment, how are you doing? And number two, it just says, I got you. So if you're a 5, it's fantastic. It's a good day. Our energy's good. Let's go have a great workout. If you're a 2, my desired outcome is for you to be able to be a 5 by the time we finish the day or finish the workout, because you're going to feel that I love and care about you. And again, let's embrace being human. Let's embrace that I'm going to have good days and bad days. That's the truth. And, when we step into the truth, we can really step into being our authentic self. And my feelings matter, who I am, what I feel. We just want to bring back that's what's important. Your heartbeat's important. Who you are is important. In sports, we're all about being tough and being out there and being able to put that game face on and go for it. And you're going to be able to be that. You're going to be able to be that great person that you want to be. But you're also going to be able to be human and acknowledge that some days are better than others. And I love in what you said about it doesn't give me permission to not be able to be my very best. It just gives us permission and a connectivity from a language perspective to know that I might need a little extra help today. And thank you for your support.
Yes, that's great. Let's move on to one that you actually just touched on. We've used this word as we've started this podcast, and it is desired outcome. Carlette, that's something that we talk about in our phone calls with each other every week. That's what we talked about, really every workout in my sports life coaching certification and on this podcast. It's what we're going to start every podcast with is our desired outcome. So share with us what those words mean and connect us with that language.
The words desired outcome is a huge winning strategy. What's so powerful about this? Again, if you think about sports, we always know what we want to achieve. We come in and we say, we're going to win the game tonight. We want to go to the championship. We have a very specific roadmap that helps us train, not only mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, but it really gives us an anchor to say, you know what, I'm going for this season. And again, a season's a beginning and an end date. And my brain, my body, my emotions, it can get itself up for everything that it needs to do because I know what I'm going for. Mm-hmm. So sports is phenomenal about that. But now think about life. Every day can be exactly the same. It can be as if we don't have a season. It can be as if, oh my goodness, this is what I'm going to be doing, kind of day in and day out. And just the energy and our emotions can really drop from that. So coming in and kind of thinking again, like every day is game day. How do we really want to make sure today is a 10-day for me? Setting that desired outcome tells my brain, tells my body, tells anybody I'm working with, this is what I want to achieve today. And that sets the brain really, it quiets the brain down because now it's not wondering, oh my gosh, what's going on? Why are we in this meeting? What does she want to talk about? What's happening? Immediately, it's very clear that in this meeting, the desired outcome is to achieve XYZ. Now the focus gets laser strong. Everyone in the meeting is paying attention to that desired outcome rather than everybody's brains wondering, what exactly are we in this meeting for? So this can be as great personally, professionally, philanthropically. Personally, we can say, hey, what's the desired outcome of this weekend? What do we want to make sure happens? Well, we've got some chores that we've got to get done. We want to have some rest and recovery time. Now, all of a sudden, the family feels like they're safe. They've got a game plan, and everybody can actually get to work because we know what it looks like for the weekend.
One of the reasons I love this tool is because it takes away the feeling like we've wasted our time. And I feel like if you talk to anybody, time is our most precious asset. We talk about in sports life coaching our 24 nuggets, and no one gets extra, right? We only all get 24. And, we joke about who's busier than who, and the busy banner is really something that all of us try to, wave proudly like everybody's busy. But we all know the truth is we're all really busy. And so if I can get down to the desired outcome in the phone calls that you and I have, Carlette, then you and I both, busy seasons, busy days, we know exactly what we want to accomplish. We head into our meeting, into our phone call, fully dialed into what we want, and then we can walk away feeling like that hour was the most well-spent hour we could have had together. And both of us, we feel like a 10 at the end of that. And I think about, with my kids, if my desired outcome is for 10 minutes every day to lock eyes with them, to connect with their hearts, then as a mom, I go to sleep at night not thinking, oh man, did I love them well enough? Did I connect with, my middle son? Did I connect with my oldest daughter? Yes, I have, because my desired outcome at the beginning of the day was to connect with them for 10 minutes each. I said that, like you said, my brain knows what it wants to do. I set out to do it, and I feel good about myself as a mom and the way that I'm loving my kids at the end of the day. I mean, it can go down the line to what is my desired outcome for my workout today, all of that. What it does is it really helps us, like you said, like an athlete, laser focus on what we want, help us prioritize our 24 nuggets appropriately. And then at the end of the day, which this is my favorite, Carlette, if I can live in these desired outcomes, again, am not living in regret of what I wish I would have done, how I wish I would have responded to someone, or at even just the ways that I would have been more successful in the day. But I'm laser focused into who I want to be, and then I feel good about my effort at the end of the day.
What's really exciting about this, again, is it puts us in control. And that, again, is another winning strategy. Me really understanding that from the minute I wake up until the minute I go to bed, I can be setting desired outcomes from what's my desired outcome with breakfast. I want it to be enough to give me great energy for the rest of the day. What is my desired outcome for my family today? Well, we've got volleyball practice, basketball practice. It just sets everything up in a way that I can determine if I've won the day, basically. Has today been what I wanted it to be? And that's what we want to do. Again, with language, we're here to make sure that our brain understands what its job is for the day, how it can make us, number one, feel successful, number two, feel significant in our personal life, and how we can really be our very best person. Team, this is something that you can leave today after listening to this, and you've immediately got two tools you can use. You can do Call Your Life Play, which is on 1 to 5, how am I feeling right this moment? And you can say, what's my desired outcome for every single thing that you're doing? Remember, it's training your brain to know exactly what you want to accomplish so that you can invest all of your time, your energy, and your emotions in what matters to you. And then to be able to, at the end of the day, say, that was a good day.
Let's move on to winning strategies, because I feel like that can definitely play into desired outcomes.
So winning strategies are what works for us and what doesn't work for us. So many times people think about winning strategy means it's got to be everything my way, or it's got to be exactly what works. Actually, you learn the most about yourself and about your colleagues, or this is where communication actually breaks, or where relationship breaks, is what doesn't work for me. So this is some new thinking to really be able to say, I want to be bold enough, courageous enough, and full of grace as we go into this, to really be able to identify what's working for me and what's not working for me. So winning strategies are exactly that. It's a strategy that really helps me win the day, helps me be my very best. So for instance, getting up at a certain time, having the same rituals and routines, that's a winning strategy for energy management. Now let's talk about what doesn't work. If somebody comes in and changes the schedules all the time, or if it's an open office environment and you really like some private time to be able to optimally perform, and somebody's stopping by and talking all the time, that literally could be a performance barrier for you, something that's getting in the way of you being able to be who you want to be. So a winning strategy would be able to talk with that person. Again, we're talking about language today. So this isn't a text. This isn't an email. This is actually you connecting with a person and sharing who you are and sharing your winning strategies. So the way this would work is I would say, hey, let's talk today. I want to share with you some of my winning strategies. Something that really works for me is that I need some time. I'm a thinker, and I really need time to be able to think about things. So if you want to talk to me, it'd be great if we could, if you could stop by my office and say, hey, is this a good time? That would really give me an opportunity for me to share with you, no, I'm right in the middle of something, or can we talk in 15 minutes or 30 minutes? Now I've expressed my winning strategy without getting frustrated with the person, without being able to, to share with them, first of all, what works and what doesn't work. They may have no idea that what they're doing is driving you crazy. I mean, that's just part of life, is that, again, not knowing the communication, and me not knowing that every time I'm just stopping by and telling you hi or telling you what I'm thinking about, I have no idea that it's not working for you. So again, I want you to think about winning strategies, what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Most important, communicating what does not work for you with grace is what's going to be your winning strategy, because that's what's going to keep you being your best self.
Carlette, what do you do if you voice that winning strategy to someone and it seems like they are not honoring that?
Yeah, that's called being human again, right? I mean, that's just part of life, and we're going to just accept and love that. If you think about in sports, we say that our desired outcome is to be a champion. But guess what? Every day I'm going to miss a bunch of shots. I'm not going to be great. And thank goodness the coach doesn't bench me or put me, off the team just because I wasn't able to do exactly what I said I wanted to do. So that's really where that training and that grace shows up, is that you want to say my desired outcome is to really be able to get everything right and express everything, tell people what my winning strategies are, what works and what doesn't work. Our life is all about just that muscle memory. We're going to do what we're got in the habit of doing. And if we want a different result, we're going to have to show up and be different and do different. And that's going to take some energy, that's going to take some coaching, that's going to take some training, and most importantly, that's just going to take sense of humor. Let's lighten up about this. Nobody's out there trying to really mess with us. Everybody's just trying to be their best self. And that's not an easy thing to do in today's hurried, hassled, busy world. So if we just, anchor up beside each other and we're for each other and we're able to have a language that says, number one, I'm for you and I'm for me, and let's figure this out. So again, day by day, those are reps that you're practicing constantly. And instead of being frustrated, I want you to literally think about every time that person shows up and doesn't do what you ask them to do, it's an opportunity for you to do another rep and you be able to say, hey, remember, my winning strategy is such and such. Not, oh my gosh, didn't I tell you that yesterday? I mean, just feel the difference in the tone when I start my sentence with a winning strategy. I'm actually training the brain to know my desired outcome. So when I say winning strategy, my desired outcome is to share what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So again, you're going to notice really the layering of our language.
Yes, Carlette. So let's go back to that question. What if I don't know my winning strategies, and what if it's going to take me an hour to come up with some desired outcomes with my life? Coach me through what that looks like.
So number one, you got to get yourself in the game. There's no way you're going to know winning strategies, desired outcomes, if you don't show up and put yourself out there. Now, what's really fun about this is if you think back to our stats, which we've talked about in our previous workouts, is remember, stats is our system from 1 to 10. 1 is low and 10 is fabulous. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get out and you want to go for things and you want to stat it up. You want to say, you know what? I said today that a winning strategy for me was working out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I struggle and I get out of bed and I go to that workout, and the whole time I'm feeling really lousy. I'm feeling like a 2. And then I go to work and I'm tired. Now at work, I'm feeling really low. That is not a winning strategy for my energy management for me to get up and go work out. So the great part is I learned a winning strategy, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Me getting up at 6 o'clock does not work for me to go work out. Now I know that film. I got that because I tried it. Now I'm going to try working out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, after work, I'm going to go work out, and then I'm going to stat up, hey, you know what? That feels a lot better to me. That was a 7 or that was an 8 for me. All we're going to do to figure out desired outcomes and winning strategies is practice, practice, practice. Just try it. Think about something that matters to you. Get out there, give it a try. We're not asking for you to make a big commitment to it. In fact, it's the opposite. We don't want to commit to something until it's an 8, 9, or 10 for us. So this is where that rep of just having the courage to be different, to get different, and to do different shows up. Because if you have the heart that you want something different in your life, let's just start trying it. Let's talk about it with some friends. Let's say, hey, you know what? Let's try walking in the morning, or let's try this new restaurant, or just open your heart to trying things and going for it with the desired outcome of, I'm trying to figure out what's a 10 for me.
Carlette, I love that because as high achievers, we talk about what a high achiever is. A high achiever is a champion, someone who wants to excel in everything they're doing. The performance barrier to being a high achiever is not wanting to be a failure. And it's interesting how, you talk about, hey, go out and try it. We don't want to practice anything that we don't love. And the former Emily would have said, if I commit to, wanting to include yoga in my workout routine, but I go and try one and I don't like it, that means I failed. That means I'm a quitter. And I love the new thinking that no, it doesn't. It doesn't mean you're a quitter or failure. I think this is going to free a lot of us up to actually take that step to try something that we've been dreaming about for years. Because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean we're a quitter. It doesn't mean we're a failure. It means that we're on the road to finding something that we love. And that is a power play move in our lives.
Well, and Emily, you just said it in terms of that high achiever. We hate even the thought of failing at anything. And, I'm going to challenge us this week that failure has a whole different meaning to it. I want you to really think about the fact that you are actually failing yourself if you're not going for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And our life is so important and our life is so valuable, and our relationships, the people we're with, if you're not engaged with who you are and who you want to be and who you want to be involved with, that's up to you. I'm going to put that on you from an accountability perspective. This is your life. You're the one that's in charge of it. You're the one that's designing it. You're the one that's living it. You're the one that's going for it. And if you've pulled back and you've kind of settled into being a 6 or a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, that's not a champion. And even if you're a high achiever, you're not achieving that height of a life that you really want. And if you've settled into that because of fear, and you're afraid that, you've got to just stay at the 6 or 7 because you're really good at being a 6 or 7, that is so not the life that we want to live. I mean, I really want you to be able to have completely new thinking about every time I go for something that I want, that's a win. And every time I fail at it, it's an opportunity for me to reset, see what I learned from it, think about it, and set back up. If you think about in sports, basketball again is a great game for this. If I'm dribbling the ball for the whole game because I want the perfect shot, that's not even a game. It's not even enjoyable. None of our teammates have gotten engaged. We want to keep this to where we come down, we're dribbling, we look around, we see what's our best option, and we take the shot. And guess what? If we take a shot and we miss it, our teammates are there to rebound and to reset.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the film that I want you to hold in your mind as you go out and you really challenge yourself to figure this out. I want you to think about, I want you to see life, and I want you to take the shot. And if you miss it, get the rebound, reset, try it again. If it goes in, wow, that's a winning strategy. We learned something from it. So we've really got to step into the new thinking that I matter, my life matters. Me loving my life is what equals a champion. And I got to figure that out. It's not that we don't want to love our life. Most of us have kind of either forgotten what it feels like to love life due to responsibilities and seasons that we're in, or we've just kind of given up. And that's not a champion. That's not a champion mindset. That's not a champion heart. Every day is game day. You get to get out every morning and start the day and say, I'm going for it. I'm going to win today, according to whatever works for you. And if you, miss a few shots, just reset and learn from it and get back out there with everything that matters to you. Our stat system is the best tool for this. You're looking for things that are a 10 for you. If you spend your day doing 8s, 9s, and 10s, you're going to feel like an 8, 9, or 10. And if you do that day in and day out, your life is going to begin to feel like an 8, 9, or 10. If you're investing in 6s and 7s, you're going to feel like a 6 or a 7. So it's amazing to really think about, again, the sport language. Stats are factual. They're the truth of exactly what's happening. So it gives you the opportunity to bring your power back, empower yourself, challenge yourself, get coached, get trained, and say, I am committed to being a champion.
I love that. And I love when you were talking about really taking that shot and not being afraid to set up that perfect shot. It made me think of that, what all of these coaches have told me growing up in sports. Don't play afraid to lose. Play like you're going to win. And I love that that is even the mindset in life. I'm not going to be afraid to lose, afraid to make mistakes. I'm not going to live in that 6-7 zone because that's where I feel like I'm comfortable. I'm going to play to win. I'm going to reach for my 8, 9, and 10. And even if I make mistakes along the way, that's going to get me overall to the fulfilled life that I'm enjoying, that I'm loving. Carlette, thank you so much for the workout today. Team, thanks for coming on this journey to living a 10 life.
So now it's game time. It's all up to you. Go out, get some reps on this new thinking and the sports life coaching language. Call your life play, desired outcome, winning strategies. Practice, practice, practice. Nothing but 10s.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget, tune in next week and head over to iTunes and Spotify and hit subscribe.
Remember, a championship life is a 10 life. You matter. Your life matters. Create a life that you love. Give hope to others and be and choose nothing but 10s. Be you. The world needs you. Go to lifetrainingacademy.com.